This video is relating to the subject FMLS, that's Fundamentals of Management and Life Skills, which is prescribed for first semester BCom of Bangalore University, and this is relating to session 34 of the unit name is Communication Skills. And in this particular presentation we're going to talk about the meaning of informal communication, definition, and types of informal communication. The main objective of this video is to understand the concept of informal communication and what are its various types. At the end of the session, the students are expected to understand the meaning, definition, characteristics, merits and demerits of informal communication, and also different types of informal communication. Now, as we have seen in the earlier videos, there are different types of communication, and a communication which flows through the formal organization structure is called as formal communication, and something that does not follow the formal communication structure, formal organization structure, such a communication is called as informal communication. Now, this communication exists because there is a need for social interaction between people. Now, people, being a part of society, like to interact with each other, and this interaction also exists within the organization. Apart from their official relationship they also share a social relationship, and the communication that happens because of this social relationship is called as informal communication. So, it's an unofficial channel of communication, arises out of socio-psychological needs of people to interact with each other, and it's a very important and spontaneous outgrowth of formal channels of communication. This is not defined by the organization. There's nobody who prescribes what is the relationship that is existing between people. This friendship or this kind of a social relationship could exist between people of any levels, people of any cadre. So there's no emphasis which is laid out on position. It is merely a psychological relationship that exists between people. It arises when people of common nationality, caste, or religion interact with each other, or when they share a carpool or meet each other regularly in canteen, library, bus stands, etc. So, if you know, mostly region, religion, language, even age group could be a common basis of this particular relationship. So, such relationship could exist out of basis like gender, or if they're staying in the same locality or sharing a common cab, and so on. So there could be different reasons why this kind of a relationship exists. It's also popularly known as grapevine communication. The basic features of informal communication is, the first one, it connects almost everybody in the organization. So you might be somebody who is in um, a marketing department and somebody who is in the production department. In the formal organization structure, you may not have any sort of a connection between these two people who are staying in different departments of the same organization. But informal communication allows them to build a relationship, allows them to connect with each other. Second, it flows in every direction. There's no prescribed direction for such kind of communication. It could be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, any which way the communication just flows. So there's no, the position is only for official purpose, but for personal communication, there's nothing called as position, there's nothing called as cadre, there's nothing called as a specified role that you play in the organization. It does not matter whether you are the general manager or a simple employee of the organization, or you're an MD and anybody in the organization. If there's a common connect, you always tend to have informal communication. It is a fast channel of communication. It's considered as the fastest channel of communication. Formal organization often takes a very long period of time to exchange information or transfer communication, but with informal communication there's no such problem. It is the fastest channel of communication. Then it generally occurs at the work side, though it may occur outside the organization also. Normally, such kind of relationship exists within the organization, and the communication happens within the organization, but sometimes it can happen outside the workplace also. Say you're traveling in a cab together, there could be information which is exchanged through in the cab. So such kind of situations do arise. Then it arises out of social and personal interaction amongst people in the organization. Again, there is no formal need for these people to communicate. The organization does not prescribe a time or a place or a need for these people to communicate. It's only based on the social and personal interaction of the people in the organization. Then it's based on people than task. The focus of formal communication basically focuses on getting things done from others. So the basic objective would be to get things done by others, but in case of informal communication, the communication happens only between people, and people are the focal points, not the work which has to be done. It generally occurs orally. There's nothing which is written and communicated in case of informal communication. It happens orally. Then it occurs in various forms known as communication chains. We'll see in the further presentation that there are different communication chains that happen, and it happens through such chains. Now, what are the different types of informal communication or the grapevine communication chains? Keith Davis identified 4 types of communication chain, the different sort of informal communication. The first one is called a single strand chain. As the word itself says, it's a single strand chain, which means there's only one person in this particular communication process. There's always only one person in this communication process, and information passes from one person to another in sequential order. Now, say for example, A tells something to B. You could see it in the picture also. A tells something to B, B passes that information to C, C passes that information to D, and it goes on until it reaches the last person, who is J. So there's only one-to-one communication that happens in this kind of informal communication. This is called a single strand chain. The second one is called as a gossip chain. In this, there's one person who is there in the organization, and he is the one who spreads information to everybody else in the organization. He is not selective about whom he is going to send the information to. He just randomly picks everybody in the organization and keeps telling something about the organization. This information may not be related to work, but it is of interest to all. This could generally not be related to work. It could be some personal information or some information pertaining to people in the organization. So anything that interests people of the organization would be here. Now you could see how it appears in the picture, that the picture given there. There's one person A who is spreading information to the rest of the people in the organization. The next one is called as probability chain. In this probability chain, there's no particular pattern in which the information flows. It randomly passes on from one person to another. There's one person who passes on information in a random manner, which means I can tell it to one person, I can leave out the other person, I can randomly tell the third person. So there's no any kind of a pattern which exists. Now this information is not significant, but it's somewhat interesting. So it generally passed on between people who are interested in such kind of information. Now this diagram tells you how it spreads. So A randomly tells B, who tells I, leaves out J, leaves out G, and so on. The fourth type of chain is called as a cluster chain. In cluster chain, one person passes information to a selected few confidentially. That is, communication is done only with selected people whom you believe you can trust. Some of them keep the information to themselves, and others may just pass on to the information to the rest of the members. So it's a most common pattern of grapevine or informal communication. You could also see it in the picture. So A trusts B, D, and E. So he gives the information to B, D, and E. B and D keep quiet, they don't tell it to anybody. E could tell C and F. F keeps it to himself and C passes it to J. So, this is the normal kind of grapevine communication that you will find in an organization. So, what are the merits of grapevine communication? Do you require a grapevine communication? What are its merits? First one, speed. It's totally quick compared to formal kinds of communication. The information just passes on from one person to another very, very quickly. It does not take time. Second, it supports formal communication channels. Sometimes, when formal communication is being delayed or the formal communication does not convey the message required, grapevine communication always acts as a supporting channel or supporting system to this formal communication channel. Third one, nature of information. The nature of information which is sent through grapevine communication is always personal kind of information. So, information which has to be passed, which is of personal nature, will be through grapevine communication. Feedback, this immediate feedback that you could obtain through grapevine communication. Generally, when you send any message in the form of a letter or in the form of written word to another person, it takes time for him to comprehend what you're trying to tell and reply back. But if you're orally telling a person, you will instantly get his reply back. So, feedback is very, very quick in grapevine communication. Fifth, human relations. Grapevine communication is based on human relation. It exists because there's a human social relationship between people in the organization. Then last merit is that it satisfies the socio-psychological needs of human beings. Now, human being is a social animal. He is there as a part of society. The society exists because of this social need of human being. He cannot stay by himself all alone. Now, all of us must have seen in our COVID times that it was so difficult to stay by ourselves without having to connect with others. Thanks to your social media and all your internet platforms, which would enable you to talk to the other person over video conferencing, video calls, and so on. Now, imagine a state where all this was absent, it would be very, very difficult to stay. So, such socio psychological needs of an individual is satisfied only through grapevine communication. Now, what are the limitations of grapevine communication? There are a number of limitation that happens also. First one is information distortion. The information that you are trying to convey could not be properly conveyed. In most cases, when you're passing information through grapevine communication, there's number of filters, number of changes that happen through the process, and the information that you want to convey would be distorted to a large extent. Second, lack of authenticity. You cannot trust the source from which such information is passed on because it does not come from formal channels. Third one, fixing responsibility is very difficult. You don't know who starts this information, how it spreads, who receives it, how do they distort. So finally, fixing responsibility on people is very difficult. Fourth, incomplete information. There are major possibility that the information which is sent is incomplete. They will not understand the entire information, they may not transmit the entire information. There could also be selective transmission that is happening, so it's very difficult to pass on such an information. And fifth, lack of evidence. There's no evidence for such kind of information because it is basically oral and nothing is communicative. Now, how do you make effective use of grapevine communication? Grapevine communication is a double-edged sword. If you could use it in the most effective way, it is very, very beneficial for the organization, but at the same time, it could harm. So, how do managers make effective use of grapevine communication? First tip is managers should personally inform employees about organizational goals, plans, policies, etc., besides communicating them through formal channel. This will avoid spreading rumors and gossips. While communicating with subordinates, managers should maintain closeness with them. So, that's the reason you have trainings and orientation programs for the freshers so that you know the managers could meet them personally and tell them the organizational objectives, goals, policies and procedures besides whatever is being given through writing. This will build up a connect with them and also avoid any kind of unnecessary gossip. Second, enhance group discussion and activities so that people can openly discuss their formal and informal problems, so they could stop talking behind people. Then third suggestion is the manager should fix some time in a week or a month to personally meet the employees and discuss various formal and informal problems with them. Fourth, managers could win the confidence of group leaders so that group goals are not contrary to individual goals. Then, as much as possible, decision making should be participative in nature. Allow people to participate so that they will stop spreading rumors. Sorry. Then, regular feedback from employees can improve the organization's state of affairs. So, the managers have to regularly talk to employees, see what are the problems they are facing with the plans and procedures, and if they want any changes. Then, last, managers should be good listeners. If they want to be listened, they should also listen to the others. And it's very important that you listen to the organization employees. So, remember, informal communication or the grapevine communication that happens is a very, very effective tool if it is properly utilized, and it is something that cannot be avoided in an organization. So, the managers should know how to effectively use it.